on a journey. And no, I am not recording and driving. See, hands-free. The other hand's on the on the wheel. I can't take that off. But we are doing a big adventure today. I know that I'm not accustomed to doing these types of lives all the time. One today because we have a very special visitor, not in the car with us, but we have our designer for the indoor playground in the car behind me. We're super, super, super excited because we get to do some shopping today for the indoor playground. So the update on the jail is that we have finally passed electrical inspection. We've finally passed plumbing inspection, rough on both. We are expected to pass our inspection day on the sprinkler system. And then next week, the alarm system gets started. So we're super pumped for the alarm system to finally get started. And once the alarm system's done, that's our final rough piece. So once the alarm system is done and taken care of, the next step is we get to do insulation and then sheetrock, flooring, and kitchens, and then we're done. So we are in the home stretch of this absolutely amazing project. It's taken forever. The main reason for that was there were a couple of contractors that used this as a filler job, because one of the things I learned in this particular arena is that I am a small fish in a big pond when it comes to commercial stuff. And so it's just one of the downsides. In the residential side, I'm one of the bigger guys. So if I ask for somebody to be on site on a certain day, I can get that. I can't really get that here. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me okay. Let me see here. Yeah, hopefully you guys are able to hear me okay, just because I can't hold my phone and drive at the same time. So anyway, so we always talk about your network being your net worth. And so one of the really cool things was, in one of my live streams, I had mentioned and said, hey, looking for a designer, looking for somebody that wants to do kitchen design. For those of you who had worked through cabinets with us, the quality of the cabinet is great. The ordering process is great. What's an absolute nightmare was getting designs out of the designer. It was the bane of my existence. It was unbelievably impossible. And so it was truly a nightmare to work with that person. And so finally we just had to call it quits, and I just said, listen, you're not really interested in doing this. It doesn't matter what I pay you. You're just not interested. And you couldn't care less about hitting a time frame. So we're going to have to move on. So that's what we did. We moved on. In putting out the plea on the YouTube channel, again, network being your net worth, have one of the amazing people from the audience. Her name is Jessica. And so I won't reveal her last name just in case she wants a level of anonymity, because she's a superstar designer. But she is, what's really cool is she is actually designing the indoor playground. So we're super excited about that. I'm actually going to, there we go. Hey, good morning all. Good morning, Chris Wissing. So in designing the indoor playground, obviously I don't know the first thing about designing an indoor playground. What we did for our homework was we went to Las Vegas 2 years in a row, which is the home of some of the most amazing indoor playgrounds, as you can possibly imagine. It's Vegas. So we actually went into these indoor playgrounds, and we would just pay and let our kids spend the morning there and the afternoon there and see what they kind of were driven to, see what they played with, see what the kids were using the most. And so we did a bunch of that market research. So we went to about 20 different indoor playgrounds over the course of a 2-week period, twice. Once in 2023 and once in 2024. And so where we find ourselves now in 2025 is we're basically finishing off the space, and now we need all of the things, right? We need all the stuff that people need in order to open up. And so we'll probably be open in the next 60 to 90 days is my guess, because if we get the approval today on the sprinkler system, even if we don't, there's some small tweak that has to be made, basically all the work is done. So we've really gotten to the point where all the stuff that we had to get done is done. So we're in a unique position now to basically have this amazing designer who has experience and just thinks of things differently than I do, which is a huge help. And some things, obviously, we get through the conversation. It's like, nope, I really want to do it this way. And you know what? I could be wrong. And we're certainly going to find out. But she's amazing to work with. Super, super, super educated and knowledgeable. Blew me away that when we were walking through the building, she knew some of the code stuff, because code is a nightmare. But yeah, super excited to be doing this and have Jessica here with her entire family, hanging out, kids too. So we're gonna have a kids play date this afternoon, which I'm pumped for. My kids are pumped for it, but they had to go to school. We thought it was gonna be a later day, but it's not, because for some reason they have a half day of school today. Like, okay, whatever. So anyway, here's what we're doing. So today we're going to actually go to a couple of basically they're buyout places. They go to organizations that are out of business. They go to organizations where they have to take over an office building. And basically what they do is they buy up all their stock and they resell it. So obviously they get it for pennies on the dollar. And then we get to go pick through and see, hey, what's the stuff that we actually need or like the most, to then be able to, buy that and then put it in the space. Some of you might say, Matt, you're going kind of early, like you're still only 60 to 90 days. Yeah, but what I really want to make sure happens is that we get the stuff that we need, and if we don't see all the stuff we need today, then we at least make a dent in the list, and then we know the day that we're finished, the day we get a CO, that we're loading stuff in. Because what I don't want to have happen is I don't want to be waiting for that day. It's easy to store stuff. We can easily either put it in the space, or more likely, we would just put it in some sort of a storage container or storage unit for 30 or 60 days. Not a big deal. But yeah, super excited to be on this journey and doing this thing. Live was awesome last night. For those of you who missed it, talked about the rental apocalypse, how it's really hitting, really hitting the A-class stuff in the market, and how the people in B and C are actually the benefactors of that. So that's pretty cool and exciting, and happy to have that happening. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, because I can always glance down and see that it's in big, bright, bold letters, so I can read the question if you guys have a question. But I figured, what the heck, we're driving out to a town called Manchester, which is, we also call that Manch Vegas. And there's no similarity to Vegas other than it's one of our biggest cities. Actually, I think it's our biggest city. So yeah, I'm super pumped to be able to do this, walkthrough and design selection and all that good stuff. And she's come up with some really cool ideas so far. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun adventure. But yeah, that's what we're looking forward to doing today. And since I had to drive there, I figured, why not do it live and tell you what we're doing today, because that is the newest, latest, and greatest jail update. We have with the electrical for the what's called the fire panel, that being installed next week. That should take about a week or so. So it'll be end of next week, beginning of the following. They should be wrapped up. And so that basically puts us in the beginning of April. And then once we get that, then we can blast through, because the installation crew is ready to go in there and just absolutely crush it, get the insulation all done. And then the sheetrock guys, they're ready to go in, and we're going to have like 30 guys there hanging, mudding, and taping, because we can't wait to get that part of the process done. And then they'll prime it. And then essentially we have walls. Everything at that point is no longer exposed. And now we're jumping in, and we're going to be able to do all the other fun stuff, which is not that much left. It's really kitchens and flooring at that point, and then just the final fixtures, which everybody is kind of ready to do. So yeah, super excited to do this. But yeah, had an abbreviated, had about an hour-long car ride, or 45-minute long car ride. So I figured I'd do this quick live for you guys. But if there are no questions, I am going to jump off, and I see that I already have voicemails and messages, so I'll just listen to my voicemails. But guys, have a fantastic rest of your day. Excited to go do this project and show you guys what, we'll take some pictures. We'll post them to Instagram so you guys can see some of the stuff that we picked. And the good news is we actually have a trained designer. not just a lumberjack. So it's always a win. Your network is your network, and having amazing people in that network that have skills that you don't have is a huge blessing, and it's an awesome opportunity to leverage other people's skills to, quite frankly, make a much better space. Guys, have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Maybe we'll jump back on, maybe we won't. But thanks for jumping on this one and hanging out for a bit. And yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. If I can now just figure out, there we go. Have a great one, guys.